So,
So how do you know if you're getting a bad deal? Well, you should look at the terms and conditions that are frequently found in term sheets as published by either law firms like Cooley or alternatively published by the great data and research team at Carta or other places. Like the
mhm,
information is out there, but a lot of people don't know. Oh, I could go check this. Like so. First of all, your attorney should be looking at this and saying like, hey, David, this is pretty aggressive like terms over here, and they're more attractive over here, versus just flying blind. But you should also like be able to look at the data and be like, oh, okay, 80% of term sheets in Q3 at, Series A were, 1x liquidation preference. Why are you, why are you asking for a 2x or 3x, right? And
mhm.
because there are these heartbreaking stories of people who pour their lives into their companies and then maybe 8 or 9 years later, it gets sold or something like that. And they walk away with, next to nothing. Why? Because the different terms and provisions and all the maybe the safes they did earlier or whatever it was, like
Yeah,
created a cap table where others who provided capital but walked away with multiples on that capital did so at the expense of, your ownership and not just like what you thought you owned, but what you on on paper technically will
yeah.
deserve to get.
Do you think, because I've come across many founders, and sometimes I look into their businesses, or they'll share details with me at an event, and this is kind of one of the questions I was going to ask. You kind of answered one of what are the three biggest mistakes that people make. Clearly, not understanding the term sheet is going to be one of them. But my perception is there's a bit of ego involved. But sometimes people raise capital because it's a challenge and because they want to say, I raised capital. But how can we help? You got to separate that ego. Like that, my observation is, and I've heard of some businesses, I was like, why would you do that? You have enough free cash flow from your operation to invest and sustain, but then you're going to go get something else. When I do some math on, I'm like, sure, you need it's an easy yes for someone to give you capital, which is why they end up getting it and talking about it at the table. But at the same time, it's like, was that ego? Did you want to say you raised 100 million? And I got to imagine a percentage of it is probably driven. People just want the challenge and the ego to say I raised 100 million dollars versus
Yeah,
actually needing it.
this does happen because we are in a culture that celebrates when people raise money. So what happens then is people are like,
Mhm.
oh, this other successful person raised money, or they think my other, competitors and peers have raised this much money. What am I doing? I should like raise money, right? And
Yeah,
capital is just an ingredient. That doesn't mean don't raise money. I wrote a
true.
book around about raising money because you should raise money if you need money, but it's an ingredient. Just like you need talent, just like you need to have access to the right like technology and tools. Like just think of capital as an ingredient in your business, not a
Yeah.
panacea to solve all your problems. Because like you walk around and you're just like, oh, if we had some money, then I'd hire like 10 more engineers, or we'd have like a better office, or we'd have the awesome booth at the trade show. Like everyone believes with that capital can solve their problem. It's actually just an ingredient. What solves problems is generally sales. Like a
Yeah.
lot of great sales, good margins, and a lot of your problems get solved because you're organically building and you get to a place where capital, comes to you. You attract it as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah.
If you need it. But again, like that's a thing. It's ego, and it comes from sometimes getting the narrative backwards.
True. And I love what you said because to make a business work well, you it's like making a really complex dessert or something, even a steak, right? You need ingredients to do this stuff. And so you need skill, you need multiple ingredients, you sort of need the technical know-how. And the businesses are no different. I absolutely love the analogy of capital as a rest as an ingredient. because the recipe for success is what you said. There's sales, there's product market fit. You need good talent, good tech, good system to weave this whole thing together. So it isn't no one, in my opinion, no one thing in business can solve it all. There might be one thing that rocket lifts it for sure, and that could be any one of those ingredients. And you never really know. But having good smart capital with good system, good talent, it's just good business. Like you, it's almost impossible to fail at that point, right? So it's just setting yourself up for success across all the key pillars of the business.
It's simple, not easy.
I was gonna say simple to say and not easy, and I think that's the other. I was talking to. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. It's like me all of a sudden just being a surgeon or a doctor.
Mhm.
Smart. I know my stuff. I know lots of stuff about the health. It doesn't qualify to me for me to be a doctor. And so a lot of times in the game of business, you have a lot of people entering in an arena that is pretty sophisticated, right? Sophisticated with the psychology of managing people, the psychology of market, the psychology of your competitors, the whole 9 yards. And so the game of business is easy to say, but it's very, very difficult to do. And I think there's a general, unless you're in business, most people think it's, oh, just craft a sales page or just do this. It's just not that easy, to your point. So it's simple to say, but very difficult to do. Like anything in life, that's just usually the mantra. Easy to say, hard to do. So before we wrap, do you have one piece of advice or two for first-time founders preparing to get, raise capital in our current environment, which the
Yeah.
world, things are up, things a little weird right now. It might be a little weird for the next year or two, with where interest rate may or may not go. And
Mhm.
that's what are your thoughts
Yeah.
today?
Well, I appreciate, like you said, they're managing in a period of great uncertainty, and there's a lot of things they have to get right, as we talked about, in order to be successful. So the number one thing that I would say is, the art of fundraising and a lot of other things, be it sales, be it building great teams, is to stop pitching and start listening, to create a dialogue
Mm,
and to really be able to understand the investor, the person on the other side of the table, and what makes them tick, because you're going to have a much better opportunity sharing your vision and getting them excited about it and sharing your story than, if you just expect, oh, what I need to do is what I see on those TV shows. I just walk in the room and start talking.
yeah. Yeah, that's a real, I like what you said, just to stop pitching and start listening. I love that. That's probably good advice in all walks of life, the truth be told. And thank you for that. I think that's a great conversation. I appreciate you writing a book for the world. I will put the access links for people to purchase it. We'll do all the show notes and all that fun stuff. And just really wanted to thank you, VJ, for your time and sharing your expertise and generosity with us here today. And we'll help you on your mission too, as best we can with our side of the world. So thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you so much. This has been super fun, Daphne.
Awesome. Have a great day.
You too.